Hey yo, it's your boy DJ Jazzy Jeff, you feel me? Okay, this is the time that I almost got jumped when I was little, okay? It was kind of crazy because at the time, my grandparents, and they still kind of do, they live in like the hood area. But with that, let's talk about it.
The truth.
Okay guys, so this happened a while ago, okay? I'm talking 4th grade. So, somewhere in 4th grade, third grade, because I was in 3rd grade going to 4th grade. I was hanging out at my grandparents' house, and, we're just chilling. I got kind of tired because, Xbox wasn't really very popular, and I didn't have, Xbox Live or anything. So, it was kind of just boring sitting there. So, my aunt's like, hey, do you want me to go take the kids swimming? So, they're like, yeah, sure. Do you guys want to go swimming? We're like, yeah, sure. So, what ends up happening is we have to get dropped off at our work. So we get dropped off at our work. We're kind of chilling there. She's like, okay, guys, we're going to go to my house. So we go to her house for a little bit. I think we play on my cousin's Xbox for a couple minutes or something. We had enough to play 2 Fortnite games. But also we died pretty fast because we kind of sucked. And eventually, we got kind of tired. And we're waiting for their mom. They finally got their stuff. And they're like, okay, guys, I'm hungry. Let's go Taco Bell. So, we go to the most authentic place, Taco Bell. The Golden Gates, not McDonald's, the other Golden Gates, or the Golden Bell. And so we're hanging out there, and keep in mind, their mango twist, frozen drink is so good. Taco Bell, if you're listening, please sponsor me, okay? I'll say your name in every single video for the rest of my life. Anyway, so eventually we're kind of just eating, and we're just hanging out for a little bit, because I'm a fast eater, so I just had to sit there. So eventually, you guys want to go swimming, right? We're like, yeah, we want to go swimming, because that's the whole point, they took us. So we finally start heading there, and keep in mind, we have to go through, as soon as we get out of the Taco Bell parking lot, there's this, kind of the street. It's kind of busy, but you have to go kind of slow. It's a pretty busy area, okay? And so, keep in mind, a couple years, later, a bunch of people, you're just playing real life GTA over there, okay? They unlock their car, throw the person out. Okay, it's almost like the Kia boys, you feel me? And so they basically just did that stuff, took the car and drove off. That also happened to my aunt a couple years later. Anyway, so we're going down that street. Eventually we have to go through the hood to get to the center of the hood, right? We're in the center of the hood, keep in mind. This is where the swimming pool is. Public park. Right, public park around the side, and that's gang territory, okay? This is the trenches between the two gang areas, okay? There's multiple gangs, and this is literally the trenches area. Anyway, so we get there, we get dropped off. My aunt's like, okay, have fun, and she just drives off. Keep in mind, no supervision. I don't know anybody. I don't even know my own phone number. I don't know my grandparents' phone number. I don't know anybody's. My cousin has a phone, and I'll talk about our phone in a little bit. So what ends up happening is we walk in, all of a sudden there's this giant guy. He's like, where you from? What's that? I look at him, I'm like, oh, I just told him where I live. He's like, you better skedaddle, get. And I was like, okay. So when you enter, there's a really short hallway. You take a right, there's a guy's, and it's a really long, narrow hallway. And that hallway is really important for a little bit, okay? Then there's another hallway on the left, which is for the girls. I don't know the whole layout for them. But anyway, so to my right, I go through this really, ghetto area, okay? This almost, when you die in Call of Duty, the gulag, okay? And so it's all nasty, musty, and everything, okay? If COVID was a thing back then, there would be so many people just dead that went through there. So keep in mind, it's a really ghetto area, okay? It's a really, really cheaply made, little hut, I guess, around the pool. Well, not around the pool, just, around the first perimeters around it. So, I get in, I have my stuff. I put it in the bag, leave it on the bench. We walk out. We walk out. I'm just waiting for, my cousins and stuff. And so, beautiful day, okay? I think there's, 2 clouds, maybe, but really tiny, and they're just really pretty clouds. And so we jump in the pool, and it feels so good going in that pool. I just remember, how well that felt. And so we're just kind of hanging out there, we're just swimming, we play a couple pool games. I think we played Pirates, we played hide and seek, which, keep in mind, it's kind of hard. Then we played Marco Polo, and it just got a little bit boring after a while. So we're just hanging out there, and I see my cousin. She walks over to this guy, okay? She's like, hi. She, like, talks to him a bunch. And she's acting like she knows him, okay? You know in 11 in Stranger Things, when she tells the popular kids to act like they're cool, she tries to pull one of those, okay? You know, I mean, she didn't get humiliated. I mean, she did get picked up and thrown across the pool a little bit. Keep in mind, this is a pretty big pool, okay? They do, like, races and stuff. And so I watch her get thrown pretty far up at this guy. I was like, oh, dang. So eventually we go to the diving board, okay? And a couple are scared, so like, you know what, no, we'll just come back to this. So eventually we all get snacks instead of jumping off the diving board. And keep in mind, it's really, really expensive. I mean, I can't blame them because they can't make much money from it. So there's a concession stand, and you know, like the Costco piece of slices. So imagine a quarter and a quarter of that slice, okay? That was $5. Okay, and that just a tiny, tiny little piece of slice. Snow cones were like 25 cents, which really big markdown, I guess. But I guess ice is almost free. So what ends up happening? Eventually, we go on the diving board after eating, and I try to do I try to dive head first. I messed up completely. I just belly flop. Okay, I eat it. So my cousin, she does a front flip. I'm like, that's cool. I want to do that. So I try to do a back or a front flip, and all of a sudden I hit my back. I was like, ow, you know. And so eventually I see these kids walking by. Okay, like 3 Hispanic kids. They're pretty tiny. They're like 4 foot, like 8. And so I try to make a big splash, impress them, and, you know, maybe make some new friends. So I eventually swim to the side of the gutter, and, you know, because there's a gutter, and that's like the part that collects all, like, the not bacteria, but like Band-Aids, I guess, and stuff like that. And there's like the sidewalk. So these kids are on top of the sidewalk. Okay, they look at me and they're like, "We got a problem?" I look at him like, "I don't think so. How about you?" He's like, "I got a problem." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." And I'm basically acting like customer like service, okay? At this point, if I was like helping a Karen at this point, she would just love me. She's like, "I'm just gonna give you a giant tip." Anyway, so these kids are like start talking about how we have a problem and stuff, and they want to fight me. I don't understand that. What? We got a problem, huh? I understand. I'm like, I know, I don't think we have a problem at all. Have a good day, buddy. And so, I get up, I walk around, I jump off the diving board. Okay, I walk up to the edge again, and they try again. Okay, they're like, "Where you from? What's that you reppin'?" I look at them. I don't know. Because the closest thing I know to the streets is Sesame Street, you feel me? You know, Sesame Street ain't ready for this. Anyway, so eventually I'm like, no, I'm not. I just told them where I'm from. Like, I have no idea where that is. And so I just, jump on the diving board again. And then eventually they just leave me alone. Well, for now. So eventually, my cousin's like, "I'm tired." So she grabs her phone, tells her mom to pick us up in 20 minutes. So we go back in like the shallow end for like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. And these 3 kids keep walking around the pool, like jumping off the diving board a little bit. And they all jump off the diving board at the same exact time, just to watch me and stuff. Okay, and so the kids are keeping an eye on me. So eventually, you have to go into like the sketchy hallway, because like the sketchy hallway, that's really, really nasty. That's inside the main changing room. So I open up the door, and these kids had this whole thing planned out. Okay, there's a kid at the front of the door, because you open it up, right, and it's so dark you can barely see. All of a sudden I walk forward, and all of a sudden the kid like bumps into me and tries to square up with me. He's like, "Hey, what up with it?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." And I just walk. I literally just walk. Keep walking, because there's like a little pathway, I guess hallway, that enters into the changing room. So it's really narrow. So this kid's like, "Where you going, huh?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get dressed. I'm gonna go hang out with my aunt." And so I have my swim trunks. Nothing else on me. Like, that's all I'm wearing. I go to my bag. All I see is I have a pair of shorts. Actually, no, they took my shorts. I had my underwear, 1 sock, no shoes, and a shirt. Okay, keep in mind, these kids could fit my shirt. So that's how out of style my shirt was, that they didn't take it. So I'm like, gosh dang it. And so then I walk to my aunt's car, and she's like, "How was it?" I look at her, and I'm like, "I lost a shoe." She's like, Where'd your shoe go?" "I don't know, it's just not there." She's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll ask their service about it." And eventually my cousin looks at me and everybody says, "Really? I lost my phone." And she didn't say anything about this, right? She didn't bring it up at all. So yeah, I brought my phone. And I was like, oh, you lost it? She's like, yeah. Keeps in mind, it turns out she just left it on the table and someone probably just took it. Because we know when we're eating snacks, she had it because that's how she talked to her mom. And so, eventually, she's like, her mom's so mad and stuff, forget it. And so, we go to her house, we're hanging out, we go to her hot tub for a little bit. I think, like, I get in an argument with my cousin or something like that. Anyway, so we go inside, we hang out, we play a little bit of Fortnite. My grandparents come to pick me up. And yeah, that's the first time I almost got jumped when I was in 4th grade by 3 Hispanic kids. And I guess that's kind of the culture over there because there's a lot of gangs over there. With that, I hope you guys had a scrumdiddlyumptious day, and I hope every single time that you open up a bag of Gushers, you get all of your favorite colors. With that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down alligator skin, and have a great day.
Yeah. My dad used to say, whatever is whatever. Never may be never, but it's ever that keeps us going.